Hulu released an animation called Predator, Killer of Killers. And I'm not going to lie, enjoying an animated Predator movie was not on my bingo card for 2025, but here we are. I'm a huge fan of the Predator franchise, with the exception of Part 2 and Alien vs. Predator, so maybe I'm not a huge fan because I don't like Part 2 or any of the Alien vs. Predators. But when it comes to aliens, I think Predators are the cream of the crop. They're organized with cool tech and a lot of aura. I mean, yeah, they're horribly ugly, but they exude a level of confidence. And of course, a huge part of the Predator's allure are the actors who are playing them, who are in the actual costume playing them. But, yeah, they exude like an aura. Predators are just, in a way, very cool. This is why I wasn't too eager to see an animated Predator movie. I didn't want my Predators animated. Come on, I need to have a physical body in there playing the Predator because it matters. Just like it matters. Just like it matters who plays Jason. Just like every person who plays Jason, it's just a different vibe, like a different way that he walks, carries himself, the way he stands. It matters. So when I saw this Predator animation, I was almost sad. I was like, I don't know. However, Hulu's Killer of Killers was super solid. It was super solid. So let's get into it and talk specs. It was directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who also directed Prey, one of the most entertaining Predator movies in existence. I loved Prey. It's 1 hour and 30 minutes long, and I'm telling you, it wasn't long enough. And if you hear me saying that, that means something, because your girl, do not make me sit through a long movie. It was animated by The Third Floor, who also developed Gears of War 4. Killer of Killers is an animated anthology that takes us through time as predators battle three of the fiercest warriors in human history: a Viking raider, a ninja in feudal Japan, and a World War II pilot. So literally, we're seeing Killer of Killers. Okay, each warrior has their own short story in this anthology. Each story is so the three stories: the shield, the sword, and the bullet. Now, at first, I thought the animation looked like a Telltale game. I mean, it did. And in the shield, there are some points in the animation where I'm like, whoa, this is gonna be tough to sit through. Whoa, I don't know. But it does get better. I was not a fan of that first story about the Viking warrior. I wasn't a fan of the animation. I wasn't a fan of the story. But toward the end of the entire movie, the main character of the shield, who the Viking warrior named Ursa, she was officially goated. Officially goated, in my opinion. Now, I really like how they're showing predators engaging with the fiercest humans throughout time. Now, I feel like all we need is a Predator versus Spartan, and maybe like even a Predator versus Chicago street gang scene. Like, can we just... Okay, maybe the Chicago street gang versus Predator might be a little too much. Maybe that's borderline silly. But we definitely should have a Predator versus Spartan scene, movie, something. Like, you could do gladiators. We could do like this has to be a thing. This has to exist. You're not gonna tell me that predators were coming to Earth looking for the fiercest warriors and never encountered a Spartan. I'm not gonna believe it. I'm not gonna believe it. Now, the animation had so many little gems. This movie had so many little gems throughout. The gun from Predator 2 was in there. The main character from Prey, I cannot remember her name, but the Comanche warrior, she was in there. And I even think Dutch was in there. So the attention to detail in this animation and the little connect, like the way that they kind of connected it to the other movies was on another level. Definitely appreciate the attention to detail. I guess the predators are freezing the humans who survive battle with them. So the top of the top, because that's where we're seeing possibly Dutch, the main character from Prey, and that's where Ursa ends up too. So we see predators having a gladiator type event where the humans they pick have to battle Beast and each other. So they have to fight each other. They put Beast in to this Coliseum, and the winner fights the top predator. Now listen, in my opinion, the predators had to have encountered that on Earth and then just took that back home. Like in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, see, they're teasing us with this whole like, oh, they're doing like their own Coliseum type thing. Yeah, we're definitely gonna get a predator versus gladiator type situation coming up. I felt like that was a tease. If you saw this and you didn't think the same thing, I mean, how could you not? And then so the winner fights the top predator. So I'm really hoping that we get to see Predator versus Gladiator versus Spartan. I've said it enough in this video. I said it enough. Someone hear it. At this point, the way my mind is set up, we could get a Predator versus Ash. I might be down for that. Some people be, it might be a little corny, but I'd be down for that. Ash he fits in this world. Okay, so let's break down each story. The Shield is about a Viking raider and her son. She's tough as nails. Gave some of the best fight scenes in the movie, although the Shield animation is it was not good. But she loses her son, and that makes her even more insane. I didn't care for Ursa, nor the look of the predator she fought. The predator brute. His head was just a tinge too small. He didn't look right animated. But let me tell you something. Ursa shows up later in this movie outside of her story, and homegirl, I was sitting in my bedroom clapping. Yes. My favorite character. Ursa was my favorite character. A shield is her weapon, and I don't know. It must have been made out of adamantium because it had extraterrestrial strength. The things she was able to do with the shield, make it make sense. The second story is called The Sword, and in this one, we see two brothers, one a samurai and the other a ninja named Kenji. They're fighting each other until the predator shows up. And this story was so beautifully animated. Like, I feel like I suffered through the Shield. And all the way through the Shield, I was kind of like doubting if this was going to be a movie I could make it through. And then the second story rolls in. And from the moment they drop us into this world, it was absolutely beautiful for me. Story was beautifully animated. This is where things turned, and I was like, okay, we may be onto something. So the predator in the second story, he comes in using tactics similar to the ninja, and both brothers have to come together to kill the predator. The ninja, Kenji, ends up with Ursa on the ship headed to Uja Prime, which is the predator's world. The third and final story is called The Bullet, and while I understand why they picked a World War II pilot, Torres is the name of the main character in this story. He seemed very shoehorned in just because they were going to need someone to pilot the Predator aircraft later in the movie. I didn't really think he was a good pick. He just met a need in the story. But The Bullet has some pretty cool dogfights that showcase the weapons on the Predator ship. But I would have preferred a different person just altogether. I mean, the Predators put Ursa, Torres, and Kenji in the gladiator battle. I already told you that. And they give them their proper weapons. So they give Torres, the World War II pilot, they give Ursa her shield. They give Kenji his sword. They give Torres a flintlock, the flintlock from Predator 2 and Prey. And I'm like, dude, if you were going to give him a gun and be like, this is your weapon, why didn't you just pick a sniper? You mean to tell me you observed all of the military and you chose Torres with his broken down, busted up plane, they completely set Taurus up to be killed. But anyway, Taurus had one purpose in this movie. One skill, one purpose. And that was to fly them up off of that planet. That's it. Because he served I didn't feel, I just had no connection to him. It was just no reason for him to be there. But anyway, so Hulu's Predator, Killer of Killers, really did exceed my expectations. I gotta say, I went into it really hating the idea of an animated Predator, but by the end, I was asking for more. Did you see it? What did you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.